not a lie, it's real, it's happening, and our children and our grandchildren are going to have to live with the repercussions. And it's your fault, and it's our fault too. We're all responsible for this. And every Canadian citizen needs to know that we can oppose this, we can stop it. We do not have to be part of the North American Union if we choose not to be, but people need to voice their dissent. It's utterly important.
Can I ask you a question? Can you explain to me how rock throwing and throwing things, how is that not violent? Because
the rock throwing is violent. The act of throwing a rock is an act of violence.
there were dozens of rocks.
There were maybe a couple dozen rocks thrown by a group of about 30 or 40 out of 1,500. And in the same way that I saw individual police officers beat down people who had been arrested, I know that doesn't represent all of them. Not every single one of these guys would crack me in the head if I were sitting peacefully on the ground, but one or two of them would, and we know that that doesn't represent them as a whole, and it has to be taken the same way for protesters. Anyone else have any other questions?
Well, you know why there are 5 times more journalists here than protesters?
Yeah, I do know why. Because yesterday it was made very clear that with this level of force that's here, that we're not going to get in, we're not going to disrupt the meeting, and people don't like getting tear gassed and shot. Hard to believe, but people don't like that. And this massive display of force, the security in the Security and Prosperity Partnership scared free speech away. Security, in this sense, is an end to free speech and public dissent and democracy in this country.
So what about standing together, united, we can never be defeated? Is that not true then?
It's true, but tear gas really sucks. And 1,500 people non-violently protesting against 3,000 police is not a winnable battle. And when they import OPP police into Quebec out of their jurisdiction to protect war criminals, there's not much peaceful protesters can do unless we have much more numbers. And that's why we urge all Canadians to realize what this is about and to come out and voice their displeasure with what's happening here. It's really important. If people don't come out, this is going to be our future.
Can you give us your name?
My name is Alex Hundert, Hundert.
Where are you from, Alex?
I'm from Toronto. So I'd like to ask you again, can we please come inside and voice our peaceful dissent to our political leaders? You guys all know that we have a right to be in there peacefully, and I'm sure you all know that the 5 of us are going to be completely peaceful. If anyone doubts that, please put up your hand. Okay, so we have a consensus. We are peaceful protesters and have a right to be inside. Are you going to let us exercise our rights? Or are you going to deny us our right to free speech? Is there someone in charge here who I can speak to?
His name's Stephen Harper.
His name's George Bush. No, really, is there someone who will come and answer a question? Anyone? There's a couple thousand police, and not one member of the police will come and actually talk to the protesters. Anyone want to answer a question? Why can't we come inside? Why can we not voice our dissent to our political leaders? Anyone? Anyone?
I have an answer.
What am I asking? I want an answer from the police or someone on the other side of the line. There's a couple of people who don't look like cops over there. Maybe you can tell me. Guys in the backward hats. You don't look like fascists. Why can't we come in? You're not going to answer either? No one? No one behind this line? There's about at least 50 cops here. So the 5 of us are not going to try to get inside. That seems like a bad idea to me. And if you guys won't even answer a question for us, not one commanding officer, no one's in charge here, well, looks like the end of free speech in Montebello, ladies and gentlemen. So rather than getting arrested and staying here and continuing to have our rights denied, we are going to leave. Thank you all for coming.
You got one?
Yeah, in that hunting store down the street. He's like, yeah, I bought it for the protest. You know, for the
That's awesome. Let me see.
pretty gnarly looking.
I want to get one.
Seriously. Yeah, it totally does. But he's like, the canister's brand new. He's like, I didn't even pop it. It's one of those
Well, this pretty much marks the end of the Montebello trip to confront Caldrone, Harper, and Bush. I would say it went pretty successful. We had a crazy day yesterday. Confrontations with some riot cops and
not as much action today. The crowds are a little bit smaller. It seems like the people that were out today were the true believers and the hardcore people who really care about this country. I expected to see more people out today with what's going on. But it's a bit of a shame not to see more protesters here today, but at the same time, we don't want to see what happened yesterday happen again today.
absolutely. Well, I'm glad we at least came out.